Hey there, so today we have another review. This is a beer from New Belgium. I believe I've reviewed this one before. Katie picked this one out, so I'm checking it out. So this is Oakspire. This is in collaboration with Four Roses. This is, 9% kind of ale. It's a bourbon-inspired ale made on oak barrels and char from some of the barrels. So it's not actually a barrel-aged beer. It's like, barrel adjacent, I guess. Smooth notes of toffee, vanilla, caramel, blah, blah, refined finish. In collaboration with Four Roses. Four Roses is a big, popular bourbon producer. I believe they're bought out by Kieran. You guys fact check me below. One of the Japanese companies, so for sure. Beer comes in a really wonderful kind of like light to medium amber color. Nice, beautiful clarity on that. Light tan head on the nose. Definitely get that kind of barrel note. I also get a little bit of like this fruity ester aldehyde kind of thing. It's like green apples, and it's almost like acetaldehyde, yeah. But it's like butter, like tons of butter going on, like diacetyl almost. This would be a fun one to write an essay on for advanced restaurant. It's got all kinds of like compounds, arguably all flavors. Yeah, so it's like bourbon, wood, char, green apple, butter, croissant, buttery biscuit, toffee, a little bit of caramel apple, What's going on here? So I don't remember the last time I had, was it Lexington, Kentucky Bourbon Ale? Like, people love that stuff. This is adjacent to that, I think. I mean, it's been a while since I've had that beer, but this is like a really, like, it first off, it's very good for 9%. I would have guessed this guy was like a solid 6, 7. Sorry, Nigel's just like running around doing it. Anyway, he's not bothering to review. That's all that matters. It's like a light amber ale. Honestly, if you told me the old recipe of Fat Tire was used, and then like they like barrel aged it or something, like bourbonized it, like bourbon barrel aged or something, I would have believed you. And that beer's like 5%. This beer's at 9%. Does not remotely drink like that. The beer's not very big or sweet. It definitely has packs a little bit of booze to it. So it could taste this elevated in alcohol, but like, again, I would have guessed high end 7-8%, never 9. Like, just doesn't taste like that big. Has a little bit of that kind of like Fat Tire thing going on, right? That, at least the old school one. A little bit of that kind of like biscuity malt of it, a little bit of the caramel sweetness. Has a little bit of these palm fruit, appley, pear, stewed apple kind of British esters kind of thing going on, and then it packs this like big bourbony punch to it. Though it's actually quite nice in the sense that like it doesn't taste like, again, the beers are just the barrel aged beers that are disjointed for me. They taste literally like somebody poured bourbon into your beer, which is not like ideal. You're trying to get the tertiary, like, you're not literally trying to make a beer taste like bourbon. You're trying to get the tertiary flavors in there. So it's like toffee, vanilla, coconut, the vanillins, the lignans, all those compounds from the charring of the wood and the complexity of that interaction of the spirit with the barrel. And you're really trying to express barrel, not liquor, right? Liquor. You don't want liquor in your beer, right? It does a pretty good job of that. I mean, it's very drinkable. It just, for me, lacks a certain amount of complexity. I mean, obviously, if you pull this to the standard of a barrel aged beer, you're not going to enjoy it as much. It does sort of imitate a bourbon beer pretty well. If you're a bourbon drinker, this has a little bit of that kind of like caramel toasty sweetness that you get from like a bourbon. Replicate some of the flavors as well. I think the esters also sort of replicate between certain bourbons and the beer. And you also get some of those tertiary flavors that, again, they label as toffee, vanilla, caramel. So the carb is not like super. I mean, the carb's pretty good, so it's like, not spritzy, like, which would, I would think would be off-putting for a bourbon drinker who drinks still liquor, right? So yeah, it's a good introduction. I mean, I don't know why a bourbon drinker would just switch onto specifically this beer. They probably prefer bourbon instead of a bourbon tasting beer at 9%, but hey, who knows? Not quite sure where the market is, but the beer's pretty good. Again, Lexington bourbon ales everywhere, and I bet this beer tastes a little better than that, right? So I'm gonna go with a solid. I mean, doesn't really do much for me. It's pretty well crafted, but again, I don't really like uniqueness. Okay, meh. Repeatability, no. Like quality and outstandingness of it, sorry. Let's go solid 80, 83. 83, that is Oakspire from New Belgium. I mean, it tastes good, and if what I described is what you want, then sure. I just don't know where this sits in the portfolio where I'm like, yeah, let's go. So 83. Until next time, cheers later.